I am joined today by my co-host, Dennis Dupro.
Hello.
Hello. And our guests, Gage and Kimberly Bunsness. Welcome.
Hello.
Author and illustrator of Gage's New Friend, and also mother and son. Welcome to the Bookhound. And before we get started, I want to give you a quick reminder to check out books from all over at lrpnv.com. If you have a book you'd like listed, click the Add Your Book link to include your book too. So we are very lucky today to have found our new guests, Gage and Kimberly, who have a book called Gage's New Friend, A Boy's Wish for a Diabetic Alert Dog. Welcome again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys are just wonderful to be here today. I know that, Kimberly, you had to take off work to be here, and we thank them for letting you go. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Kimberly, and then we'll get to Gage and have him tell us a little bit about himself.
Okay. My name's Kimberly. I'm an esthetician, which is a skincare therapist. I have two boys, Gage, who is with me, who has type 1 diabetes. He's 11, and my son, Chase, who's 9, and I've been married for 13 years.
Wonderful. And you work here in Reno.
I work at Renown, yes, at the Renown Cosmetic Laser and Skincare.
And Gage, what made you decide to write a book?
Well, for Christmas, I got an old-fashioned typewriter, and we were deciding what to write about, and my mom said, write about getting a diabetic alert dog.
Wow, with an old-fashioned typewriter.
Wow. That's
a
great.
challenge.
Yeah,
Are you a good typist?
kind of.
Kind of.
I wonder if it was this electric.
Yeah.
No,
IBM.
it wasn't electric.
Oh, it's really an old-fashioned.
really
It's truly
old-fashioned typewriter.
Wow, that's incredible. So you decided to write a book because you have type 1 diabetes. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And so tell me a little bit more about how it is to be living with this disease as a kid.
Well, it's a kind of a struggle because sometimes I'll be playing outside with my friends or playing sports, and I would have to stop because my blood sugar is either too high or too low.
Okay. And for those folks who don't know too much about type 1 diabetes, and there are two different types, type 1 and type 2, why don't you, Kimberly, share with us, because your book details this very nicely. So share with us a little bit more about the differences between the two.
Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease where the pancreas just stops producing insulin. So you need to take insulin through either an insulin pump or through shots. If you don't have insulin, basically it's to sustain life. He needs to take insulin every single day. A lot of people think if Gage diets or exercise that his diabetes will just go away, and that's not the case.
That's type 2 diabetes.
Type 2 diabetes, you can diet and exercise, and there's a medication that they take as well, but Gage has to be on insulin.
Right. And as a general rule, type 1 is usually diagnosed as children. Is that correct?
That's correct. His is the autoimmune disease, yes.
Right. And one of the things I shared with Kimberly before we came on, that my dad actually had type 1 diabetes. So I have a real good knowledge of what it's like to live with this from the other side, from the side of my parent having it as opposed to a child having it. And for me, I have to say, it was interesting because when I was a kid, I didn't know there was a type 2. The only thing I understood was type 1. So when I got older and found out that there was another type, or if somebody would say to me, oh, I have diabetes, I was like, oh my goodness, not understanding that there was a difference. And my dad was actually diagnosed later in life. He was diagnosed when he was around 22, 24, somewhere in there. So it's not just kids. I know that they call it juvenile diabetes, but it's not just children. Young adults are often diagnosed as well.
Correct. And for type 1, it's only 5 to 10% of diabetics who actually have type 1. So the remainder is type 2. So a lot of people kind of hear diabetes so much that they think type 1's just kind of no big deal.
Right. And it is a big deal. And you don't want to play it up as being horrible, but at the same time, it does affect your life. And Gage, I'm sure, from what you've just said, that we can see that does affect your life. On the other side, though, you can have a normal life too. Is that true?
Yes, I can do everything that a normal kid can do.
Right. The only difference might be that sometimes you have to stop, check, see that you're okay so that something doesn't happen.
Right.
Right.
I have a question.